We're ready.
We're ready. Okay. Oh, this is great. Okay, this is a topic that I'm actually glad I pulled this out. This is leftover from Halloween, and so it's been October. It's been several months. This is from Tess. Do you think that they would celebrate Halloween in the district, or would it be purely a capital affair? And if so, what costumes do you think they'd have? Dead tributes or victors, maybe, for in the capital?
That sounds like an Ariel Burdoff question if I've ever heard one.
I don't think maybe there would be a kind of Halloween in the districts, just to keep morale up for maybe the little kids. It would be like a juvenile holiday, but in the capital they'd probably all get dressed up really slutty and drink a lot.
I can totally picture, at the Capitol Target, plastic bags hanging on a rack with the Nico Dare costumes inside.
Mm-hmm.
That would so exist, I think. If they celebrated Halloween. I wonder how many of our... I am speaking as though Panem is real. I wonder how many of our current traditions would still be around then, because it doesn't seem like many are. I know that they reference a harvest festival of some sort, but I think it's safe to say that even if they don't celebrate Halloween, I'm sure that at least in the capital they do costume parties.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I mean, for a culture that's so primarily based around death, I mean, Panem really is a culture of death. There's no discussion of religion or, an afterlife, which I think are the themes that run through our understanding of Halloween, aside from, candy and, costumes. Is this really, we watch scary movies, we do Halloween because we have an intrinsic interest in what comes after, and there is none of that in Panem, which is really bizarre because they're confronted with it on a huge basis once a year with the Hunger Games.
Right.
So it's just bizarre that there's no thought to that, at least not from Katniss's perspective.
Yeah, and then you have to ponder, other death-based holidays, like Dia de los Muertos or, any sort of Veterans Day, Memorial Day kind of thing. I haven't read the books in a while, but is there any sort of allusion to any of those kind of days, or is it they only think about, are the only dead that they think about people from the Hunger Games, or do they have other holidays to think about lost relatives and stuff? I wonder.
I don't think any holidays are ever referenced except, like I said, for that Harvest Festival they mentioned at some point, right? Is that what they call it, a Harvest Festival?
Yeah, pretty sure it is.
So some term like that is thrown out at some point, but very briefly.
It's really, everything is so capital-centric that the capital really becomes the deity in their society. It gives life, it gives you food, it gives you death. I mean, if they were going to celebrate anything, I guess the harvest makes the most sense because they're celebrating the goodness that the capital has bestowed upon them for another year.
That is actually such a fascinating comparison to draw, I think, because you could even look at it from a human sacrifice kind of angle. Like once a year, the districts, sacrifice one person, well, for maybe two, depending, to honor or pay penance. Very interesting. Adam, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think Shylah is really on point with this. And the Harvest Festival is the perfect example to illustrate that. And if they were going to have a holiday like this, you'd have to figure that they're not going to have the liberty to do it on their own. And if they are, it's going to be very much in secret and not, withheld from the capital, which, as we've seen, is extremely difficult to do. Yes, they're able to have the Hob running and something like that. So I think if they were going to have their own version of it, and it was going to be a sort of, unknown holiday that they were celebrating together, it would be in the Hob, and it would be only among a few people who are breaking the rules. If it was going to be a capital-sponsored event, it would be just like the Harvest Festival, and they would be ordering people to dress up and do this, and basically you'd have to be on the best behavior or suffer consequences. So I don't know about you, but when I look back on my trick-or-treating experiences, I think it really would have kind of sucked if the government made me trick-or-treat and forced me to wear a costume instead of picking the one that I wanted. So Halloween doesn't sound like that much fun in District 12, at least not under the Capitol's regime.
Yeah, I think, we probably. I mean, I got the impression that the only real national holiday was like, Reaping Day and.
And what are they going to trick or treat with too? It's not like they have a lot of food supply to give away. So I think it would have to be something symbolic of food, if you're symbolic of sweets, and that's almost like that Jimmy Kimmel thing where the parents say we took away all your candy. Because you wouldn't have any candy there. So I think they could celebrate it, but it would be a very distorted version of what we think Halloween is.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, though, our traditional Halloween is not what Halloween is originally supposed to be, right? So
it is. What is Halloween supposed to be? It's more of a pagan thing?
It's like, I think Hallows Eve, and it's like it has something to do with the dead. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it comes from All Hallows Eve or All Hallows Evening, which was a Catholic or Christian, I don't know. It was like the evening before All Saints Day, and I think they would have a feast or festivals. But then again, so many of these Christian traditions do have pagan roots, so maybe you're right, Adam.
Now, you mentioned the word hallows and Halloween. Is there? I feel like I've heard that word somewhere before, and it's been tied with something ominous, like the word death or deathly. So that doesn't have a good sound to me. So I don't know. Leaves me. I don't think I can live while the hallows survive or something like that. Anyway. Okay, so Savanna, do you want to go into the next thing, or does anyone want to chime in with a last-minute treat?
I do want to add that there is a topic in the grab bag specifically about religion in Panem. So since we're sort of on that topic already, if anyone else has any thoughts about religion in Panem, we would love to hear from you.
What's the question? Just like religious presence in Panem?
Yeah, I mean, just, I think the question was just kind of what we think about the lack of religion in Panem, because clearly, at least from what we learn in the 3 books, there is no religious presence at all in Panem.
Right. I've always thought that, just in the regime that there is, that they wouldn't want any of those kind of beliefs or anything like that, but I've always kind of entertained the idea that if somehow it was an underground thing and possibly passed down from family to family, that it's possible people could have worshipped in secret or maybe even started their own kind of ideas about that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that it would be permitted just because religion is a force that inspires hope. And as President Snow says, hope is the only thing stronger than fear. So I can't imagine the Capitol government or regime allowing people to practice a religion.